So hello everyone. Thank you for coming to this ORCA presentation. Today we are gonna be talking about how to be successful at the upcoming UURAF event, which, as we all know, is gonna be a new virtual experience for most of us.
Hello, everyone. I'm Undergraduate Research Ambassador. My major is food science, and I'm minoring in food and concentrating in food safety and quality assurance. I'm currently working in a lab in plant and soil department, and I'm a senior graduating.
Hello everyone, my name is Ben. I'm originally from Swartz Creek, Michigan, which is about 45 minutes away from here. I'm a physiology major and I have a minor in public health. And right now my research is in the Department of Pharmacology and Toxicology, where I'm working to understand how polyunsaturated fatty acids are involved in the aging process. And after I graduate, I'm interested in going into the field of public health.
Hi everyone, my name is Shrikar. I'm a junior and I'm from Northville, Michigan. I'm currently studying human bio and nutritional sciences, and I'm pursuing a minor in public health as well. Right now, my research is kind of focusing on how different agricultural practices affect the nutritional composition of foods. So right now we're looking at the nutrition content differences between pasture-raised eggs and conventional eggs. And so my future plans is to attend medical school.
My name is Alyssa Fritz. I use she, her pronouns. I'm originally from Reese, Michigan, and I study communication analytics and research methods with a minor in disorders and scientists and another minor in cognitive science. My research is done with Dr. Jeff Searle, studying different sciences related to the lips, tongue, and larynx. And then I plan on going to grad school to get my licensure to be a speech language pathologist.
So during this program, our overarching goals are to make sure that you all can be successfully prepared for UURAF. We want you all to have a better idea of what you can expect from a virtual research presentation like the 2021 UURAF is going to be. We're going to give you a brief overview of how to submit your project for the upcoming UURAF presentation and different resources that are available to you. And we all want to act as a resource for you and answer your last minute questions that you may have.
Okay. This year we'll have UURAF we'll use the symposium as a virtual platform. Scheduled to be occurring around April 15th to May, and so we'll use the synchronous discussions, and will be uploaded to this symposium, and the presenters, the judges, and the guests to look at this symposium by joining or having an account into the symposium. It will be public, so anyone can join as long as they have the symposium account.
I don't know if it was just me, but was Anna cutting out and in? Or is it my internet?
Yeah, it was a little pixely sounded for me.
I think it's mine. I had to turn off my video.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so this is what like the front kind of page of the symposium would look like. So this is what like visitors would see when they join the symposium and visit UURAF this year. So all presentations will be visible to like all visitors. So if you want to invite your family members or any friends or your research mentors, they would all have access to this. But they must register for the symposium account if they wish to comment on any of the presentations. And you should be given more information on how visitors can register for the symposium account later on.
So just another look at what Symposium is going to look like when you log in. This is going to be your presentation dashboard. And this is what all presentations will look like. And then visitors can use the search bar at the top as well as the filters on the side to search for presentations by college or by keywords.
This is an even more in-depth look at what Symposium is going to look like. So this is kind of what your individual dashboard is going to look like. So presenters are able to share what their poster is going to look like. So when your visitors come, they can get a very overarching view of what your presentation looks like. And then you're also going to be able to leave a voiceover animation of what your poster presentation would be like if you were going to give it in person. So in your personalized account, if you will, you're able to leave your name and your abstract as well as your oral presentation, which is going to take the form of a non-listed YouTube video.
And this is an example of what it will look like when judges comment on your presentation. That's why it's important for you to use an email and like check, and also so you'll be able to comment and interact with the judges using the comment box, the chat box. And you'll be also able to interact with also the visitors and anyone who is evaluating the presentation.
Yeah, so for those of you who are submitting a poster presentation, these are kind of just some like things to keep in the back of your head when you're making your poster. For like the poster content itself, you would want a title and list of authors, the institutional logo or sponsoring organization, and then kind of divide it up in the different sections. So introduction, a method section, kind of results and discussion, and then kind of implications of your research and the conclusions. You do not need to put the abstract that you submitted on the poster itself. So that should give you some more space. And just a reminder that like the poster doesn't have to be every single detail about your research project. It can just be a good summary of it. And you should be like using your poster as kind of something to branch off of. I know for my poster, I really liked using like kind of diagrams and flowcharts, at least for like the method section, because it helped better explain things. And then some other things to keep in mind is just to ask someone to proofread your poster so there's no like grammatical or kind of formatting errors, because I know it's really hard to format on PowerPoint sometimes. And then you can also share the video that you would be taking with someone for further feedback.
In terms of oral presentations, just some general tips. Ask someone to proofread your slides, make sure your format for the file itself is correct. Make sure if you have any special elements such as videos or voiceovers that they're working correctly. So a tip here, it would be to save your presentation as a PDF, and it just kind of helps keep that formatting consistent. And then always practice timing with your partner if you have one for about 7 to 10 minutes of your presentation time, and then incorporate closed captioning.
Additionally, we have this new kind of unique aspect to the UURAF 2021 symposium. So while most of the oral and poster presentations are going to be asynchronous, we're also going to have synchronous opportunities for those whose creative activity is involving the creative arts to actually give live performances. So for those individuals, they are able to record videos approximately 15 minutes long and share their films and other multimedia type presentations. So additionally, these individuals can leave kind of a discussion about what their art and creative activity is about. So these kind of follow-up videos are going to be approximately 2 to 5 minutes long, where they're just leading a guided discussion on what their actual creative activity is and what it means. And then they're going to upload their presentations to YouTube as an unlisted video, just like those who are doing poster projects and oral presentations are. And again, it's important to remember to include closed captioning, just because it promotes inclusivity.
Okay, so when you're preparing or practicing your presentation, your research presentation, it's good to remember that this presentation is going to be in a way like if you are giving an so it has to be clear, and at the same time it has to be short because you have only 2 to 5 minutes to present your whole research. So these are just the questions which you should keep in mind when you're doing your practice. So throughout your presentation, in those 2 to 5 minutes, you should be able to answer like questions such as what is your research about? So what is it about? So what? So what is the result of your research, or what issues it's solving? Also, you should be able to answer why is it important? So why is your research specifically important? Or what, again, issue is it solving, or what issue is it solving, and how does it contribute to your discipline or to the society? So what is your research contributing to using the society, or specifically in your interests?
Yeah, so one way to kind of practice practice like talking about your research to people who might not be an expert in your field and trying to keep it concise is something called an elevator pitch. So that we have like an example here of an undergraduate researcher doing that. So she says, I work alongside computer scientists, biologists, and engineers to analyze cancer patient data collected from hospitals and labs all over the world. We use this data to make predictions about cancer-causing genes and pathways that we can later test in biological experiments. So this example is great because she doesn't like overcomplicate things. She uses words that could be can be understandable by people who aren't in the field, and also gets the main points across.
Just another tip, practice. Review what you're planning to say with other researchers and then ask for feedback. So this could mean practice with someone in your field who is familiar with your project or who is not familiar with your project, just to see if it makes sense to them, but also practice with someone who's unfamiliar with your project and not in your field. Keep in mind that because this is a public event, anyone can access it. So for example, I might not fully understand Ben's project if he's using a lot of jargon. So if he kind of limits that jargon, I can better understand what his project's about. Just an example, but also keep in mind, because this is a public event, don't share intellectual property. So just talk with your mentor about what that means for your individual case.
just kind of riffing on intellectual property, my freshman year, I presented at UURAF and I accidentally put something that was private intellectual information on my poster. And it resulted on me having to tape out certain bars on my poster that I was sharing with everyone. So that was a pretty big deal and kind of traumatizing for a freshman. So be sure to talk to your research mentors what that means. So back to the scheduled event. When you're ready to upload your project to Symposium, we have some information outlining how to do that here. So here we have just our URCA information about how to put together a poster presentation. And this is a great resource because it's really consolidated and it really hits home kind of the basic tenets of what it means to put together a good poster presentation. And if you're looking for any tips or resources, there are tons of great ones on the internet. And quite frankly, your research mentor is probably the best resource because they can give you tips on how research is presented within your own field and even within your own lab sometimes. So when you finally put together your poster and you're ready to upload it, we ask that you upload a PDF that has this certain size requirement. And then you're also going to record a video of yourself speaking over your poster. When I did this for Midsure this past year, which was also on a virtual platform, I did this in PowerPoint. PowerPoint has a really nice feature where you can put your poster in presentation mode and it just records you speaking. And this was a really easy way for me to get that done. And then I could really easily upload it directly to YouTube. And you don't have to worry if you're really scared about it going onto your YouTube channel next to all your high school English projects. You can list this as an unlisted video so that it only goes directly to those who you share the link with. If you're putting together an oral presentation, it's largely going to follow the same platform where you can put together a PowerPoint or another similar file and you can annotate yourself speaking over it. And then you can go ahead and upload your 7 to 10 minute video as an unlisted YouTube video. Additionally, if you're giving a performance or a showcase, it's going to largely follow the same formatting as the oral presentations. So it's recommended that you film a video that is approximately 15 minutes or less. And like I was saying earlier, you should also film a 2 to 5 minute description of what your creative activity is. And again, we're all going to upload these to YouTube.
Okay, so just as a reminder and submission tips, when you're submitting your UURAF presentation, just make sure you have filled all the required. You will see which are listed as like the star, it has a star, so just make sure you fill all the indicated format information. Also make sure you select, so you can actually select more than, and also include a presentation number in your title as an example here given in your screen. And also on your subject, make sure to select your UURAF. Just before submitting, make sure you double check your UURAF category and that you have included your presentation title.
So this is a sample judging form. So it's kind of like the scoring rubric that they use to judge your presentation. So some things that you'll be evaluated on is your delivery, your comprehensibility, the significance of your study, elements on your poster presentation, or oral presentation and the current status of your study. So is it going to be up for publication, or do further data have to be collected? It does not have to be completed, so keep that in mind. And then also any visual aids that are used will also be scored as well.
So as the final days or the countdown kind of comes down before UURAF, just keep an eye on your email for updates from the Office of Undergraduate Research and Creative Activity, and then also visit the 2 links here as well as the ones that have been put in the chat for more instructions on how to create your videos or just other general tips.
During the actual event of UURAF, which remember it's taking place asynchronously over a series of a couple of days, just make sure that you're checking your messages, your emails daily, so that if you do get a question on your poster or your oral, you're able to respond to those people, especially if it's a judge, but also if it's a friend, a family member, or possibly a peer that's really interested in your work. And also, since this is a digital platform, that means that we can take advantage of all of the digital resources at our fingertips. So you can be sure to share your awesome work on social media. So we have a hashtag that we want to promote, hashtag UURAF 2021. So if you use Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, you can add us. Undergraduate Research is the account for URCA. We're everywhere. Check us out. We're really cool. We do takeover accounts where we just highlight awesome work that students like you are doing. So we'd love to see all of you participate on some of these platforms. Also, one really important aspect of presenting research is presenting it to someone. Now, this is a bit challenging in the digital platform just because you're losing that personal connection. So that's all the more reason to go visit other presentations. So this is an awesome opportunity to learn about what your peers are working on, learn about something new, and learn about other amazing things that Spartans are doing. So please take this opportunity to visit some other presentations, and most of all, have fun. Find something cool, find something to get excited about, and take this opportunity to share with the world all of the amazing work you've done.
UURAF, we normally look for next year's posters to feature. For your poster to be for your poster to be featured, you have to be a student. So you have to be a student. You have to be enrolled in 2021-2022 school year. So what you have to do is send your poster in PDF and just make sure. So you can see on the screen the format needed, so 40 to 32. Also, you have to send your headspot style photo to this email, which you can see on the chart too. And then that's, so yeah, so that's, we'll ask you to submit for you to be featured on the poster in our socials. So in Facebook, in our Instagram website.
Yeah, so we're going to be taking questions next, but just a shout out to our social media platforms. I know the undergraduate office always posts cool research opportunities that are going around campus or that are happening on campus. And also our website, urca.msu.edu, there's a phone number and email there. And also if you have any questions about getting undergraduate research or how to get involved on campus, you could always come into our advising hours where our ambassadors will be there to answer any questions. They will be on Mondays from 4 to 8 and Thursdays from 12 to 4 p.m. And I'll be putting the link to sign up in the chat.
But yeah, as Shrikar said, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. I think Heather's been answering them throughout, but if you have any, please come off mute, put them in the chat so we can address those for you.
So I guess since we're reaching the end, I did see that Carrie had a question, and I'll drop some links in, but we only have past examples of poster presentation because we didn't have orals over the summer, but there are some ways in Symposium that you can look at public events to see what some oral presentations are. So I'll drop those links in the chat shortly.
I'm also going to launch a poll real quick, so if you could please take that.
One thing I will say about previous online forum posters I've seen is that people have taken a couple of different routes when they put them together. So some people like to, in their voiceover video, they show the first slide is the entire poster. And then they kind of go through and they break it up. So they'll hit next on their PowerPoint and it's here's the introduction, and it kind of zooms it up, and then it's here's the method, here's the results. And other people just kind of show you the whole poster, and they use the laser pointer function, and they kind of just show you where to look. So this might be something you can play around with when you're putting your presentation together, or ask your research mentor what they recommend. There's definitely different ways to do it.
So in terms of the poster size question, I don't believe it matters for the actual presentation, whatever feels comfortable for you. I just know the 40 by 32 is kind of standard for these types of poster presentations. And then if you want to submit it to the office to have it printed and displayed in one of the neighborhoods, those are the dimensions you'll need for that. But also reflecting on something Ben just said, in terms of how to actually make your presentation, how to record the video, I'm in a group presentation, so we'll actually log into a Zoom call and have our poster up, one of us share our screens, and then record it so it actually feels like we're in person doing it together.
So it's going back to Maddie's question. Yes, unlisted video is an option in your settings. And the reason why we ask for that is so that it can't be easily indexed by a search engine. So it makes it a little bit more private that way.
I think everyone has different preferences on how they actually make their video in terms of if they're going to do a voiceover with Microsoft or if they're going to do a Zoom. For me, the Zoom feature works best because I'm working with people who are between 20 to 300 miles away from me. where Microsoft, it can get a little tricky to collaborate those recordings. So it really just depends on preference. If you're in a group, if you're by yourself, what works in your case.
Maybe one thing to consider too is whether one is higher quality than the other. I don't know if Zoom would do something wonky with like pixelating your poster or like making something look grainy. So if you have time, which you all should, because we all have our posters all done, right? You can like take 1 or 2 recordings and see which one works the best for you.
Yeah, so like actually what we'll do is we'll share our screen, and all we take from our Zoom call is the recorded audio. And then we edit that audio over a standstill image of ours and then zoom in whenever someone's talking.
So I should have also introduced myself. We didn't do that at the beginning, but I'm the coordinator for undergraduate research. And so some of these things, just because I'm intimately trying to produce a good UURAF for you all, that's why I know some of the answers to these questions. But one thing is, we really don't want to stifle your creativity. So you can use a lot of different things. Like if you want to use the media space to create your video first and do the captioning, that's totally fine. It's like whatever is more comfortable for you is fine. It's just ultimately, because of how our virtual event is set up, we do need it to be a YouTube video, but you can create it in whatever format you initially want, but the final needs to be YouTube.
Are we allowed to ask questions right now? Oh, okay, sorry, I came a little bit late, but I know someone put like an example of the virtual poster presentation in the chat with the media space link. And so if we created a UURAF presentation similar to that, that would be okay?
Could you share that again? I didn't hear what you were
talking. Like someone put in the chat an example of a virtual poster presentation, and it's a mid-share presentation. And so if we just created our UURAF poster presentation like that kind of video, it would be like, that's acceptable?
Yeah, that would be fine. Yeah, you don't necessarily have to take a video of yourself speaking if you don't want to. It's just helpful to have a video pitch of, like, if someone came up to your poster, like if you were normally in person and they came up to your poster and said, hey, can you tell me about your poster? You're going to give them a quick little overview of your poster. And so that's the idea of what that's for. And then someone else asks if You can show your face in the video. Of course you can. You don't have to, but you definitely can if you want to. And then let's see, Jeremiah was asking about if you recommend including a video with a poster presentation. We do recommend it, just like I said, that if someone normally, if we were in person, if we could, someone might come up and ask you to tell them about your poster. And so that's why it's good to have a video, but if you really don't want to, you can submit it without, but we do highly recommend that you include it because it will be helpful for evaluators and judges when they come by to review your presentation, but also just anyone like your family, your friends, someone else, family or friends might look at it, and that would be helpful for them to better understand what your research is about.
Well, I really appreciate you all taking the time out to help us along. I know it's a little bit difficult with COVID, so I just wanted to say how much I appreciate your time and your assistance. So thank you. I applaud you. I know I don't have my camera on, but thank you very much.